That's how you know how like pretentious, even as a dude, we became. Like where I'll fucking watch old porn and I'm like, this is such bad lighting. Where did they have the boom mic? You know?
Well, it's also like with old porn. It's like, is this part of retirement? Who's paying for all of this?
That's true.
But you know, you got to give it to them for still being so physically fit at their age.
Do you think that when they mic it, do you think they got like the forehead mics, but they just kind of like put them back in the hair?
The stuff you hide under a wig.
Yeah.
That
No,
like
no,
a
wig
porn.
mic.
I would love during that too, because it's a porn. You're moving back and forth. It gets a little slap on the forehead.
Just hear the little like,
Oh, they have like one of those reporter mics inside the vagina, so it's like ASMR. Just it's like a bowl of oatmeal.
Mac and cheesing it up a little bit. See, that sounds hot, but the ones I watch is the guy's butt. It's just as sloppy, just as wet. It's this old guy butt, you know? It's really, most old guys, I think, prolapse at a certain point, right?
I would imagine it's sounding just like a dinosaur giving birth in a grassy area because of like a hairy butt, you know? Just that scene in Ace Ventura.
would a dinosaur giving birth sound different in like an arid area?
People like, well, if he's got an arid butt, man, you need some moisturizer in that porno, you know?
I definitely think it would sound different underwater. I mean,
Certainly.
butts have different sounds.
They do. They certainly do.
Not all butts sound alike, Colin.
I guess I'm wrong. Each individual brown star has its own specific tone.
That's a saying.
very
That's not a
much.
saying. It's a lyric.
Every brown star has its own specific tone.
You gotta write a whole book about Colin's, self-affirmations type,
That would be
sayings like
good.
that.
That'd be really good.
I think you should, in your serious book, right in the middle, more people should have full nude spreads of themselves to come out. Like the writer of the dictionary, just a random naked
Chapter
old lady.
3, my grandma.
that would be.
And now, enough of Webster's dictionary. How about Webster's dick?
Whoa!
Oh, man. So, this is Wild Phil Zosfi with your host, Wild Phil. Let's get fucking wild. Today's show, I got guests Preston O'Phil, Colin, I always say glow stick.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Glow inky.
Glow inky?
It's okay. It's made up. You can.
Glow stick is good, though.
Yeah, I know.
Do you get that?
I got it in high school. It was my nickname in high school.
Yo,
Yeah.
glow stick.
Yeah.
I like that.
Thank you.
And I guess, we'll start off with, I was saying, like, anything fucking crazy happened in the past 2 weeks to you guys? Like, who wants to start?
We had something wild happen today. We stopped at Panda Express on the way over.
Yeah.
And I think we picked the best day to go to Panda Express because they were literally under corporate inspection.
Oh, yeah.
Tensions were high. Everyone was
Definitely.
wearing makeup.
Mhm.
Everyone looked good.
Every time, have you ever walked into a Panda Express and everyone yelled welcome at you? Has that ever happened to you at any Panda
No.
Express? And that happened to us today.
Yeah,
I
multiple
think I'm
times.
in a simulation if that happened. Like,
Yeah, it felt wrong, but
I didn't like it.
I got to say I got great portions out of it.
Yep.
They were definitely minding their P's and Q's for this. It wasn't a bad visit, but there were a lot of polos and a lot of like nervous energy, nervous
You
smiles.
could see like the quarter zips that had the Panda logos on the back of the neck.
I'm picturing when you walk into a Cluckin' Bell in GTA and they all face you. Welcome to the Cluckin' Bell. What do you want?
It was like that, a little bit delayed. There's it's like a call and response. The one person's just like welcome, and the rest of the people are just like welcome, and it's like a cult meeting. You ever been to AA?
No.
No, me neither.
Well, I think they were having one today.
I've been to a
watched-
support group and I fucking hated it.
You didn't
I don't
like
want
support groups?
No, it was just I just was there and I was like, I was the happiest guy there. It was like Ned Flanders being.
I mean, it's probably a sad place for a lot of people. You're like, no, everyone was such a buzzkill.
At this group looking for support, everyone was really pulling me down.
People were crying
why
and
the fuck
shit.
am I here? You guys,
harshing my mellow.
you guys are such
Guys,
bummers.
I'm trying to enjoy this
Do it.
high right now. Can you
Did
guys
no
stop
one-
killing my buzz?
Did no one else smoke before this? Was it just me?
I brought Jay's if anyone needs any.
Jeez, you guys,
Jay's give smiles.
you seem pretty down.
If I've ever seen a group of people who need a drink, you good folks here. I got a joke for you guys. How heavy's a polar bear? Heavy enough to break the ice. Here's some beer. Come on.
No, I was laughing. I just felt bad. There was like an old lady there who, they told her she had like mild anxiety, and like the older generation doesn't know how bad benzos are, so they just got her hooked on Xanax, where she can't leave her fucking house. She's like, in a blanket all the time, like an Ewok, just like, they're watching me, and I'm like, she's never gonna understand that like pharmaceutical industry like fucked her, and I'm in there, I'm just like, what's working for me? I joined a jujitsu gym, and she's just like, I'm just picturing this old lady going and like, I'll try it out, just being thrown around.
At least I'm not sad anymore.
The worst part of that whole situation is she's not even enjoying the best high of her life. It's awful.
Well, eventually it plateaus, and then like, I'm gonna do it a little bit more, and you're gone. Like, so.
Hey, that's why you don't do it all the time.
And then there was another guy who there was one guy who like every time I was there, for anybody who like, because this goes on Spotify as well, if I'm putting my hands in my pockets, he would just nervously sit like this with his hands shaking in his pockets, and I remember in an old Cheech and Chong movie, there's a guy who just jags off all the time, and I thought that was his problem.
Did you just have Parkinson's?
So, no. I talked to him, and I was like, we're like, oh, what do you have? I'm schizophrenic, and I got misdiagnosed.
Was that John Mulaney? What was that? What do you have?
I'm schizophrenic.
My wife.
Or my wife thinks so, but we love each other. No, anyway, but no, I'm like, so I got misdiagnosed bipolar, whatever. And he's like, so what are they putting you on? I go, well, they want to put me on Ambien, but I'm not fucking doing anything. He's like, he takes his hands out of his pockets. He's like, that's Ambien. All right, don't do it. And that's what it did to him. It gives you permanent fucking tremors.
Jesus, wow.
That's why I was like, all right, I'm out of here. Fuck this.
I honestly, Ambien, what is that for exactly?
See, so this is what's fucked. I did a whole research video on this. That's because half this
Thank
podcast
you,
is half this podcast is like comedy, but half like serious like trauma. And
so the drugs and stuff is comedy, but then the serious.
It's like one episode could be like dick jokes, and the other one's like life is so great and positive,
Yeah.
But no, it's I did this whole video about how like what pharmaceutical industries do is like, they'll come out with a pill like say for whatever like Parkinson's, and then they have all these lawsuits, and then because it costs so much money to patent a product, they just prescribe it for something else so they could just reset it. And so I think Ambien was first for just sleep, and they're like, oh, you know what? It works for bipolar. It's about to expire, the patent. Let's just prescribe it for people with bipolar. And they just keep doing that. And like, so like, that's what, when I was in Preston, it was my teacher in my comedy class, crowd work class. That's why my whole set about like mental health, I was like, dude, like, because this really did happen. I came in there thinking I had depression. They go, no, you have bipolar. And then they give me a fucking schizophrenic pill. So
Oops.
They're just throwing darts at the board.
Dude, it was horrible. I actually developed agoraphobia. I went to go see this. There's this indie band called Real Estate. And they were like
Such a good indie name.
They were in some fucking town like 4 hours away, and like 2 hours in, I'm just like, I really want to be home right now. How do I get home? And it never happened to me before, and that's when I was like, dude, these guys. Plus, the other thing that's crazy about the pill they give me, it's guaranteed to give you diabetes. Like when they prescribe it to you, they give you it with metmorphin, which is for diabetics.
Yeah, that helps you lose weight, right?
Yeah, so I fucking went from
Upsides. Let's go. Also, sidebar: has there ever been an indie band that has performed close to anyone, or are they always like they're always like 7 hours away? They're like, we're in Tacoma.
We're from Kalamazoo.
Come see us. We're in a weird part of the desert.
We're in Wyoming, Michigan.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
indie bands are the improv troupe of the music scene.
You're right.
So did anything else, like as far as Panda Express, anything else happen that was ridiculous this past 2 weeks?
I gotta also say with the Panda Express, something that we were kind of arguing about, and I think I'm right, is they came out and the corporate people had their food in a bowl, like a ceramic bowl.
The VIP china of
the China.
The fine China.
There we go, right? Just said that.
Extra fine China.
And everyone else had to-go bowls and boxes, but I didn't see a single other person with a actual bowl for their food. And I'm like, are they just keeping that for the rich people? I don't know.
Is that the executive bowl?
I want a bowl.
That's the platinum membership at Panda Express.
Yeah.
Panda Express, if you're seeing this, just give us a job. Just for a day, I want the bowl.
So I used to do this bit, but nobody would answer. I'd go, anybody got one of those your old hood friends that you just rekindle your relationship? You know, those shady friends. They're like, no, that doesn't happen to me. And
look,
so
I want you to look at me in this limited edition Blackhawks jersey and tell me if you think I've ever smelled something close to.
Hey, how about me in this limited edition White Sox jersey?
if you had a tag hanging from it that you didn't rip off because you stole it from the store, maybe, you know.
I feel like I look like the suburbs as a person.
Yeah, you scream Naperville.
Yeah, that's what I'm going for,
dude. You're the first time I met you, I just got to be honest, your mustache is so perfect. I thought you looked like, you ever see those screaming Sicilian pizzas?
Yeah.
With that cartoon on it? That's what I
Wow, that's so nice.
I need to lose weight.
Yeah, that too.
Wow.
He always gets the dad from Inside Out. That's what he
the
always
dad from
used to
Inside
get.
Out I get a lot.
I've never seen that, so.
Oh, what are you
makes
not
sense.
watching Pixar Disney? What's going on?
I also am really late on Pixar Disney. I just watched Ratatouille for the first time like 2 weeks ago.
It's so good.
It is really good. I was told that that's a sin.
Well,
Did not know that.
you know that in the beginning. So you just watched it 2 weeks ago.
In
So
the
still
beginning,
fresh.
God created the heavens and
Rat.
Ratatouille.
He's like, let's get some clouds and I don't know. I'm kind of hungry. Can I get some rats or something? No, in the beginning, the kitchen that he raids and gets the cookbook from is actually the mother of the guy who's the food critic at the end. The one who eats the ratatouille and is like, this is like my mom's recipe. When it flashes back, it's the exact same kitchen as the one from the very beginning when Remy is raiding and gets, Chef
Pixar
Buga de
Easter
Beppo's.
eggs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's like the shining of Pixar with all these little hidden meanings.
It's the Stephen King universe, right? Yeah, Remy's got The Shining and can talk to other people. He's like, I just swear to God that car is talking to me. Wow, Stephen King and Pixar have a lot in common. Cars and Carrie, Cujo, and I guess Secret Life of Pets. Doug. Doug can talk, and so can all the others.
Cars and what is it? What's that movie with the trucks go alive? You know what I'm talking about?
It's not Christie, but it's
Transformers.
Yeah, that's it. Stephen King and Michael Bay's great production of Transformers.
You guys didn't see that one? I like that one.
Bumblebee's chained to a bed. Optimus has got a block of wood between his feet. I'm sorry, Bumblebee. You cannot escape again.
No, but I was saying like,
I feel good.
so the guy who's usually my co-host, he's just he can never fucking do this podcast.
Is he like Mild Phil? What's his name?
His name's Carlos or Carlitos Way. That's what I call him. But no, he can.
When you say that's what I call him, does he want to be called that?
yeah.
I don't even know his name.
If you hear any mumbling in the wall, like just don't mind it. No, but
We haven't taken him out in a while. He gets restless.
Wow.
no, but like I was friends with him like 10 years ago, and it was I was just hanging out with the wrong crowd in fucking Stone Park and shit. But what's funny is like he goes, yo, dude, like. We kind of looked at each other like it's amazing that we're both alive and not in jail. Let's hang out, you know.
Yeah.
And he goes, we should go on a double date. And and I'm thinking like, all right, he's changed. You know, it'll be something one step above Olive Garden. He takes me to fucking New China Buffet in Stone Park. And dude,
what do you mean? Is the spot to be not a step up? Dude, you better watch your fucking tone with New China Buffet.
Dude, I literally like before I got out of my car, I was like, because I saw a fucking rat scurry across the parking lot.
Remy.
And then I look at the reviews, and there's a person that posted a picture of a rat hiding behind the fucking table, like inside there.
He just wanted to know if the food was okay.
Yeah, he's like, I want to be a chef.
And then fucking and then the other photo was they use the tongs that they mix the noodles with. They just put a towel on each end and they clean the toilet with it.
Oh, I don't believe that. No way.
That's so bad.
They can't do
gotta have
that.
at least
I swear to
separate
God,
tongs for
I swear to
that.
God,
Right,
after
that's
I
the
ate
toilet
This is
tongue.
the toilet tongs.
after I ate there, I fucking like I felt like I had a parasite in my stomach for like 3 weeks. And he's like, "What do you mean that? It was good. I just had like 6 gallons of tapioca. You know, like it was fine."
Okay, went to a China buffet to get the tapioca.
Yeah, I think you've made a mistake.
Yeah, I don't think Carlos isn't doing this podcast because he's just not alive. A gallon of tapioca, it's a lot of little bubbles
Is
in
he
it.
just go into places asking for tapioca pudding, just hoping they get a good one?
I don't want a Crunchwrap Supreme. I want tapioca.
Don't you sell
I
me a Baja
want
Blast?
some well-seasoned rat rangoon. I don't care that it's rat. If you season it right, it's okay. I read that in Jeffrey Dahmer's bio. Okay, it's not about what part.
Well, that's something that people don't talk a lot about with cannibals is how much you need to season the meat to actually make it good.
True.
Because it's like, are you actually in love with the flavor of human flesh? Or is it the lemon herb mix that you're doing?
Or, or do you just really like, Webster's lemon pepper mix?
Yeah, right?
What is it?
I know if you're a white cannibal, you don't know how to season that shit. That's what I know.
Well, that's why we talked about the prepackaged. You think, I don't know what a season. If you put me in front of things and was like, what's this spice and seasoning? I'd be like, I don't know, spicy. That's
Spicy.
just spicy.
Spicy. I mean, it's the simple thing of teriyaki, right? That's soy sauce and I think sugar, and that's it. And it's there's so many of those mixed spice packages that you'll get where it's a taco seasoning, where it's you are literally just doing.
Are you talking about that Goya taco seasoning?
I am talking about that Goya.
I'm talking
stuff
about the
is
Taco
amazing.
Bell one.
The Taco Bell one is also.
There's
amazing.
a Taco Bell seasoning if you've never gotten it.
You know what's surprisingly really fucking good? I got it just as what is it, a novelty? Is Steve-O's hot sauce
for your butthole? Absolutely, I know this.
So fucking
yeah,
good.
I got you. I was sold on it when he put it when he butt chugged it. Is when I was like, I'll order it online right now.
I was sold on it because I would have Tapatio or just these hot sauce combo packs, and it's so fucking watery. But Steve-O's, it's this chunky ass garlic in there. Oh man, it's actually good.
I believe it's because he spends more time boiling and reducing it down. I actually just got gifted by this handsome man a hot sauce making kit. I love making hot sauce and I love collecting hot sauces.
It's going to be very liquidy.
It is going to be very liquidy, but it is going to be very tasty. I just made a mango habanero one. I felt like such an idiot. I spent the whole afternoon making it, and Mickey and I are just, my girlfriend, I love you, Mickey. We're spending the day cooking this, and I guess the ratio of pepper to vinegar in the mix went up into the air and just started macing us both.
Oh, yeah.
And we both just had to be like, oh God, I think. And I was in the kitchen and doing that thing that I imagine most people do, but I'm going to assign it as a guy thing, where I was cooking it and my eyes started to burn and I was facing my back towards her. So I was like, don't let her know that I'm in pain. And then she's like, ow, my eyes kind of hurt. I'm like, really? Oh my God, are you okay?
Dude, this
turns out you got to vent the kitchen.
The same shit happened to me. I was for once, because I'm that guy that just let's throw shit in and see if it makes me shit my brains out, just trial by error cooking. And fucking I'm making this, I'm actually following a recipe. They're heat up the oil slowly and then throw in the cayenne pepper so that it mixes well with whatever I was making. So I let that pan just heat up for 15 minutes and I forgot. Throw the cayenne pepper in. All the cats are walking around
poor
and
babies.
And instead of meowing, they're just
oh, they're
growling.
Oh no! Here's some milk.
Did you heat it up on high, but for a long period of time?
No, you're supposed to keep it at I think it was you put that the meat thermometer and keep it at 180 so that it disperses into whatever you put in next.
But doesn't.
It's like making weed brownies so that you melt the THC.
Yeah,
right.
That makes sense.
And yeah, I just threw it in there, and it was like in ninja movies where they throw that ping pong ball and it just smoked the cats.
It's like in ninja movies when you throw the ping pong ball and it smokes the cats.
I don't think I've seen that one. Is Jack Black in that?
Name the film now.
Oh, it won 14 Oscars.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you talking about The Shape of Water?
I want to have sex with you, Mr. Fish. Blah blah. Ping pong ball. Oh,
it was actually in The Whale.
Gone.
He's like, I'm not going to be a teacher anymore. I need to know that my life was.
Brendan!
He was fast the whole time.
Oh my God, it was a fat suit the whole time. He was just Oscar-nominated actor.
Speaking of, we were talking about The Shining. So that's the story that I had that happened to me in this past 2 weeks. Is fucking so, I've been having weird fucking insomnia from this Zoloft shit. So I just go on these rabbit holes at night on YouTube, and I'm like, oh, it popped up because I love The Shining. These two real typical metalhead couple horror nerds, they somehow got an interview with Shelley Duvall. And have you seen her last interview?
No.
So I don't know, because I'm so fucking nerded out on Shining. There's a controversy 10 years ago because Dr. Phil interviewed her, but he's just like, so what have you been up to these days? And she had like a mental breakdown. She's like pulling her hair out. She gained like 300 pounds. She's in horrible shape. But like, you know, Dr. Phil's like, what's wrong with you? All right, I'm sending you to the camp. But instead he was just like, what's wrong with you? Cut. So he just like basically exploited her and not like without helping her, like what happened to you, you know, and shit.
Yeah.
So these two horror nerds, they interviewed her like 2-3 years ago. She's in this new movie with fucking John Connor, you know, Edward Furlong. It's in a new B horror movie. And I'm laughing my ass off because this is so bad, but she does have a mental illness. So she refused to leave her car. So they're doing the whole interview, kind of like how you guys were in the car parked here.
Oh, yeah.
They're just holding the mic into her car while she's sitting in there the whole time.
Sure.
And I'm like,
it's
waiting.
Good air conditioning is what it is.
I'm waiting for them to ask, what the fuck happened to you? You know, while the whole passenger seat is 40 Chinese food boxes piled up like hoarder style. I'm like, you're just not gonna talk about that, you know?
Imagine the smell.
Yeah, Christ.
It smells so good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hungry just thinking about it. Let's go back to Panda Express, huh?
Yeah, they're having a good day.
Hey, you know what? What if she's just door dashing? Did we think about that?
Yeah.
You know, and if
You
she
know what
went-
happened? She found a career.
And if she went on the right day, she would have had those fine china piled up, you know?
That's what I'm saying.
She could have gotten one of the nice bowls.
That corporate bowl.
No, but you know what was like cringing me out? Because I don't know. Do you guys know a lot about Shelley Duvall? Or like,
Julie, no.
So like when I was a
When
kid,
you said Shelley Duvall, I was like, "Who's that?" And then you said The Shining, and I was like,
yeah, the
"Who's
mom.
that?"
I've gotten called out. Oh, the mom from The Shining. Got it. Okay, yeah, brunette hair, big eyes. Really
got it.
was screwed up by that movie. Absolutely. Well, because they kept her in such cold temperatures for a lot of the shoots.
Yeah.
They would genuinely try to scare her off camera, so while on camera, she would give that terror. Absolutely, yeah. Things went rough for her.
Yeah. She and the thing was like, in real life, I know this is gonna sound cheesy, but
She had to work with Jack Nicholson. Oh.
no, but in real life, she was like a fucking like her voice, her demeanor, her mannerism. She was like a Disney princess. She was like the mom you'd want, you know, because like in the 80s, because she was all like into that supernatural fairy tale shit. She had it was called Shelley Duvall's Fairy Tale Theater, and she just made this whole like made for TV set of Brothers Grimm fairy tales, but like the real thing, not like Disney-fied.
Right, Cinderella's getting her foot chopped off.
And
her sisters are. Yeah.
And the weird thing was like it had all these cool fucking cameos in it. Like it had for Frog Prince, the Frog Prince was Robin Williams. And then like for what the fuck was the movie with the man that's in the mirror, not the Michael Jackson song?
Oh, Man in the Mirror. Man That's in the Mirror. Are you talking about the
Snow
painting?
White?
Snow White, I think. Yeah.
With the mirror on the wall.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Who's
The
the
Man
baddest
in the
bitch?
Mirror with Snow White. Yeah, Snow
I
White.
don't know. Yeah,
Mirror,
so
mirror
they had
on the wall. Who's the
Vincent
baddest
Price
on
in
the
like brown face as the mirror.
Oh,
Like, they had,
wow.
like it was just all these random cameos. I forgot who the fuck. I think there's like Pinocchio, and Pinocchio is played by Pee Wee Herman.
No way.
Yeah, you got
That's the best casting.
and the guy the creep that kidnaps him is played by Jeff Goldblum, like a young creepy.
Oh, sexy though,
So,
probably.
yeah.
Dude,
But he looked like he looked exactly like when he was the rapist in Death Wish.
have you ever seen The Fly? Jeff Goldblum,
Yeah,
The Fly?
yeah, it's
that
awesome.
movie messed me up as a kid. That arm wrestling scene where he snaps the guy's
Yeah,
arm.
yeah.
I still won't arm wrestle to this day because of that scene. I've watched millions of people arm wrestle online. No other snaps.
I'm
won't
such
do
a fat bastard that I rewatched that movie for like the 5th time, and I came home hungry as hell. And that day, my wife was making like homemade calzones. So when he's morphing, like when he starts getting all scabby, I'm like,
I'm hungry.
he looks like a calzone, man. Extra Italian sausage on his face. You
He's
know?
looking crispy right now.
But yeah, no, that was a great fucking movie. But yeah, I was just like, what the fuck was with the? Oh, what I was saying, what was cringing me out during that whole Shelley Duvall interview was you know there's that scene in The Shining that people make fun of where she's got that cigarette. You know what I'm talking about? Like it's a meme because there's the scene where her son collapses, like he faints, Danny, and then she has to see a psychiatrist, and he's like giving her the diagnosis of the kid, and the whole scene, because Stanley Kubrick was making her do like 200 takes.
So cool.
She has a fucking cigarette that's like 3 inches of ash, and it's just not breaking. So there's like a bunch of memes, like, you know, action figure of Shelley Duvall with a fucking 20-foot ash of cigarettes. But in the scene, she goes, they're like, so good news, there's nothing wrong with Danny. And like the way she like hesitates or exhales is like she's like a Disney princess. She's like, oh, I'm so glad. That's great. And so now, because she had a mental breakdown, went through menopause, she got a deeper voice. So that whole interview, when they're making her laugh, they're just kissing her ass like, you're amazing, you're my number one actor. She keeps going like, oh. She just sounds like Butthead now. It was so, I couldn't like.
That's the noise I make at a well-cooked steak.
That A1 is cool.
Here's Johnny.
That'd be fucking great. Beavis and Butthead shining. Who's gonna be the chef?
Red rum.
The chef's gonna be his King of the Hill neighbor. Or that's the gym teacher, right? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't, the only other thing that happened to me was I told you guys I had to fucking warn. I had the party yesterday. I had to warn everybody. I got COVID tested twice. This happened to me a month ago too. 2 strep tests, 2 flu, fucking nothing. And I go to this fucking doctor. And I told you guys, she fucking like, before I'm leaving, she's just like, should I be asking you for an autograph for my son? I'm like, why? She goes, because you're like an ex-WWF wrestler or something. And like, for a split second, I was like, yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
What do you mean ex?
Brother, that strep throat, it's the cream of the crop coming out of my phlegm. You know, like, and like, I just, like, I got a little bit, like, you know, I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm a wrestler. But then I thought, like, I see these wrestler documentaries where they're, like, addicted to meth and all their joints hurt. I'm like, geez, that's what I look like to you? Fuck. But
have you ever gotten into, there's the extreme, I'm not really a big wrestling guy, but I love to find the macabre in the sports world. And one of them is the extreme pain wrestling. And this is where they wrestle with, like, you know, like these light bulbs, the fluorescent light bulbs.
Oh, yeah.
They'll
you talking
smash
about
into people.
ECW?
Is that it? Where it's like in people's backyards.
Yeah, it's like a backyard wrestling.
Okay.
No, it's nuts. It's like a bunch of fat white trash guys who are like, let me throw you at barbed wire.
In ECW, yeah.
Is that same thing as like WWE?
It was part of the WWE, I think, or like part of that like group. But they did it there with like control. It was like kind of controlled. So they're trying. Yeah. This one, they just went to the store and bought some fluorescent light bulbs.
I watched a guy take those buzzsaw circles and throw them at his opponent in the ring, and it stuck in him a couple times. And I'm like, that's pretty bad to do. Yep. I think that's not supposed to happen.
I don't think that's.
Meanwhile, there's a crowd of literally 14 people watching.
Yeah,
it's like,
that's dedication right there.
Is it? It's like the open mic of literally killing yourself.
Yeah.
To then be like, maybe it'll blow up on YouTube. And then someone's like, the camera wasn't on. I'm sorry.
Do you guys know that famous Cage Mankind Undertaker match?
Yeah, where Undertaker jumps onto Mankind.
Where he choke slammed him through the cell that's like 20 feet high.
Oh, because it broke up top, right? They weren't supposed to be up there.
Yeets them onto the side.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a jerk move.
I would agree. However,
Mankind told him, he whispered to tell him to do it. Because I watched the whole documentary because that's how great my life is. But they were talking about how, like, they just had like a 20-minute documentary on that match. And they were talking about how first he threw him onto the fucking announcer's table. And he's like, so what do we do here? And he's like, well, you fucking threw me off from the roof. We may as well keep going. Let's just do something crazier. And he did it on the fucking top of the cell, but they didn't think that the fence was going to break. So when it broke through, not only did it break through, he landed on thumbtacks. And then not only that, he hit so hard. Here's the craziest thing that I did not know about this. There's a fucking photo of him where he's smiling and it looks like he's sticking his tongue out and picking his nose with his tongue. That's not his tongue. His fucking canine tooth pierced through his face into his nose when he fucking hit the ground. So he's putting his tongue through his, like, the top of his face.
Yo, that's wild, Phil.
That's
Yeah. It's fucking.
We'll be right back.
But he was the nicest fucking person, like celebrity I ever met. I met him at a Comic-Con.
Which guy? Undertaker or
Mankind?
Mankind.
He's the nicest. Like, so I originally went to meet the cast of The Crow because I'm not really into Comic-Con or whatever. But The Crow's like my favorite fucking movie, and so,
is that the one from Schitt's Creek? Is that it? Did you watch that show?
No.
Man, went right over his head. Did you watch it?
I didn't watch The Crow or all of Schitt's
It's the one
Creek.
Catherine O'Hare is in. Right.
Oh.
It's like the Crowining, I think is what they call it. Anyways.
Yeah. No, but
and we're back.
No, so I went to meet that cast, and then I'm like, you know what? While we're here, who else can we meet? And fucking, of course, Hulk Hogan's douchebag ass. It's like $70 either for one signature or like $120 for one picture, and then like there's Mankind like $30 unlimited, like whatever the fuck you want to do.
You can fuck Mankind for $30.
Oh, I got 25. All right, he'll fuck you.
All right, just all right. I want you to choke slam me off the roof, and I want my anus to land on your fucking schlong. Right?
Wow. Okay. Can I ask you something though?
Yeah.
As far as success goes, right, in
Yeah.
entertainment, yes, he's a jerk. He could, Hulk Hogan, be charging less, but don't you kind of like that he can charge that much and people will pay?
Kind of like it.
I kind of love it. As far as this is a guy who,
Like you're saying, like good for him.
good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him for being at the place where a bunch of fanboys still show up to all of his little events and they're like,
Yeah.
brother, you're the brother. And he's like,
Hang on, brother. You want love? You gotta pay me money.
and they're like, here, take our money. He's like, all right, brother. What do you want? You want a hug, brother? I'll give you a hug.
I just picture how funny it'd be if there was a wrestler at the same event that looked just like him. So like a mega fan go, hey, I'm a Hulkamaniac, rips off his shirt, and he's like, oh, that wasn't him. I don't have a shirt to rip off for the Hulk, the real Hulk.
Oh, it's Sulk Hogan. He's just the sad version of him.
It's like one of those
not a real
impersonators
fan,
on
man.
Sunset Boulevard in LA, you know.
One of those New York Times photographer people. Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, no, so I fucking went to this doctor, and she's like, yeah, she thought I was a wrestler. And then I go, so what the fuck is wrong with my throat? And I guess she said it was not contagious because there's a viral thing going on, but it literally is contagious and like when you get it. But then at the same, I thought it was like
It's contagious when you get it. That is true.
That sounds like sickness.
You're only gonna get sick if you catch the disease.
but it's like there's
Listen, folks, we'll tell you in 2 weeks if we're sick or not. How about that?
What surprised me was how much dumb shit I did that I thought it could have been, like the soup, where I was saying I Uber, and the first time it was soup because I was like, oh, you know what? I'm not getting any rides. Let's get some food. Bing, you have a ride, and then I chug a fucking like, you know, that biggest container at Jewel, like the large
The deli
chili?
cup?
Yeah, the
I
deli
know exactly
containers.
what you're talking about.
I steal those and keep them for sauces.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And then it's like the next time I went to Bocce's and they just made it fresh out the oven. Oh, this is burning! I got to ride. So I just had to scarf it down. So I could have burned my throat. The other thing was I'm redoing my brother's porch. And because this is so ridiculous. I'm getting into too much shit, but my brother and I are going to therapy
Together?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
because
Hey, congratulations. That's awesome.
because my mom died 6 months ago, and she was a horrible fucking person to me. But he had a completely different like golden child experience. So we're like going against that.
Ain't that how it always happens?
Yeah,
And
It's
he's
great.
like, I can't believe that you would feel that way about mom. And you're like, no, I can't believe you feel that way
It's
about mom.
every session is like
And therapist is like, ooh, time is up. I'm so sorry. I will see you
Can't wait
next
to see
week.
you next week.
Dude, that you know what, the way you say how time is up, that pisses me off the most when the therapist is like, all right, 1, 2, 3, fight. Instead of like giving like advice or like trying to, he's just like, just fucking go, this session, just go at it, you know, just fucking go at it.
I'd like to think at a certain point, a therapist is kind of like a tech for an improv show where they're like, I'm not even listening anymore. I just want to find a good out. And you're like, and that's why my butt comes. All right,
All
time's
right.
over,
Thank you
friends.
so much
I will
for
see you
coming this
next week. We'll talk about it all later.
Hey, just think about that going into this week, you know?
you just say something completely irrelevant, like, so about the way you're charging us, like, is there any way that we can get this covered under insurance? And then he's just like,
it's 4 o'clock. So I'm so sorry.
How do you feel about that? About how much you like?
It seems like you're really tied to your money. Let's talk about that.
Let's unpack that a little bit, shall we?
Well, insurance isn't covering it. Exactly. It's not your fault. It's not your fault.
Yeah, it seems like you're blaming you, and that's not on you. It's the system.
Yeah.
It's the system that means that you need to pay me $200 out of pocket right after.
But what I told my brother was, I go, because he's like paying.
Don't you feel so much relief from stress now that you had to pay out of pocket for this? Also, it's only like $80.
Yeah, that's true. It's not so bad.
But now, so now that what I tell my brother is, I'm like, now that we're like, because he's paying for the therapy. And we were gonna split it.
Oh fuck yeah!
So I'm just like, you know what? I'll just build your porch because I'm like, it's a fucking eyesore for me.
Hilarious trade.
All right. I'm thinking like a lunch trade.
I could get you some pizza. No, I'm gonna build you a porch in exchange for
mental health.
I want to be able to sleep at night, bro.
So that's gonna cost you $200 in wood.
Yeah.
Whoever fucking built that shit it's so
clearly they were not in therapy.
That's honestly.
Dude, it was built so shitty that like it's caving in because it's rotting. And so what I thought I might have gotten it was I was sawing the old fucking porch and there's just mold sawdust going into my face.
Oh,
yeah. Were you wearing any sort of mask or respirator?
No, COVID's over, baby. No masks. Not for Wild Bill.
Respirators are so cheap.
For posers, man.
Yeah.
Masks.
I cut concrete when I lived in Iowa for a little bit.
Oh,
respirators are my best friend.
Oh yeah, you instantly get a cold from that shit. Like,
you could die.
Yeah.
The largest workplace accident was because of silica dust, which happens when you cut concrete, folks.
Do you know where it was?
It was in Kansas, wasn't it?
No, I was curious. No,
I
yes, it was, and a lot of people died. Yes, and that's a great fact.
I don't remember where it is. I just remember that we had one day we couldn't go out early because we had to wait till like 9 for OSHA to come in and tell us about it and be like, you guys should wear masks. And then later that day, a kid named Tyler. Shout out Tyler. Hope you're still alive.
Love you, Tyler.
See the creator?
No, he was not. He was a coke dealer.
Cool.
And
Tyler the dispenser.
And he was like cutting lines in sidewalks with a handsaw with no water going to it and no mask. So he was just walking through clouds of silica dust. And then I watched him like fireman's blow his nose. And it was a very chunky blow. And and we're all wearing steel toe boots. And I like walked over and I like very grossly stepped on it and it crunched.
Ooh, I was afraid you were gonna say crunch.
Yeah. I think I stepped on like a portion of that man's septum. Like it was disgusting.
Right.
Yeah. Hope you're alive, bud.
Yeah, Tyler the nasal crater.
Tyler in the
No,
nasal
dude, the
crater.
same shit happened when I was remodeling my kitchen.
The same shit happened when you were remodeling your kitchen.
Yeah, I got a couple nasal stories like that.
I deviated my septum and stepped on my cartilage.
And you know what fucking
I lost my nose, but I got healthcare out of it.
But I got a kitchen.
It's a beautiful nose. No, but it was no, you know what Duroc is? You know what that shit is?
No, I do know what Turok is though. Great game.
Duroc is no, it's the shit you put underneath tile so that it's waterproof.
Oh.
It's like cement drywall, and it's held together by a netting. So I didn't know. All you do is you fucking, what's the word they use? Fucking not
Build, wand, spread,
not file
Tom
it,
Sawyer.
grind,
not file
sand.
Scale it. You scale it with a fucking X-Acto
even
knife,
close.
and then
Score?
you
You mean score?
Score.
That's the podcast, folks.
We're totally gonna score. Oh. No, but no, but all you have to do is you score it, and then you fucking like judo chop it, and then it cuts on its own. So I'm there with a fucking like wood saw, just cloud of dust, and I had a cold for like 16 days because that shit going in my throat.
So there's a pattern with this.
Yeah, Wild Phil, I think you should get a respirator.
I think you should have learned.
I got that coal miner's lung.
Yeah, really. There was a canary in your lungs, and it died. Wow. I've never had the concrete snort before, but I've definitely had, I don't know, gross nasal drip, maybe.
Yeah, the worst part about doing I had like occasional bad nose blows where I'd be like, ooh, my nose blow is gray. But the worst one was when I did landscaping for a similar company. And then it was just like dirt.
The worst is when I worked for this landscaping company. It was real successful. We were doing rails off the truck.
I did have the asphalt company that the same construction company owned had a guy who did a lot of cocaine, and he would do asphalt for 16 hours in like an asphalt truck that was like 1,000 degrees. He would just take a metal shovel and just be shoveling asphalt.
Living my best life, so much energy.
So I have a fucking hilarious respirator story because
you can't have respirator stories and not own a respirator.
I don't even have respirator stories, and I still have my respirator. I'll give you my respirator.
Hey, there we go.
Actually, the only time I ever used it at home was to offer. My wife hates when I smoke cigars.
You have one,
Phil. Phil.
I told her. I told her when I smoke cigars, can you wear a respirator, wife? Like I'll feel less guilty.
Oh well, you're considering her health, I guess, which that is
kind.
sweet, right?
Just not my own. I'm gonna be selective on how I get throat cancer. Okay,
Yeah,
with cigars.
I want weeks and weeks of a cold. Please.
No, but so okay, dude. I have to tell you about this with the situation that happened at this job. I mentioned it before on here, but it's just so fucking hilarious. I worked at this place. So as a welder, the welder life is you just keep going to the temp agencies and they fucking shuffle you around like a pedophile priest. Like you work at this company,
and that's part of the marketing, right?
Yeah.
You guys know about the Catholic Church, right? We're very similar.
Very loose schedule.
You heard about our benefits at this company. You see that cage full of kids. No.
Great PTO.
No, but but like yeah, you know they hire you at company A for this busy season, and then the company B, so they just shuffle you around. So one day I'm just like applying for jobs, and they call me, which is a red flag. You know it's a fucking revolving door there when a company is looking for random people that aren't even on an Indeed like soft like database.
Could you give them my number?
Yeah, he has a respirator.
You do not want.
I do have a respirator.
You don't want to fucking work there, but
I don't want to weld.
So I worked at this company, and first day, there's this thing called it's called a time saver is what they call it there. It's a fucking. You ever see how, you guys know how like the edge of a magic bullet, it's like all shiny. The metal is all shiny.
The edge of a magic bullet.
Yeah, like the outside, it's like it looks like this grainy metal, right? So what they do is they start off with like this ruggedy, sharp, burnt out piece of metal, and this time saver, it's like the size of a minivan. There's 3 belt sanders in there. The first one takes the edges off, next one like cuts off the cuts from the laser, and then the last one polishes it. So I'm getting trained on this by this woman, this old woman. I fucking hated this lady so much.
Hell yeah.
She
What's her name? Beth or something? Fuck her.
I forgot what her name is, but she
I'll fight her.
Yeah.
I'll fight her right now.
I'll double team her.
Call her. Call Beth.
Call Welding Beth.
No, dude, she reminded me of. You guys remember a movie Kingpin?
Yes.
Do you remember the landlord lady?
Oh wow, she's a gem.
Oh my god, dude.
Wow.
Or she plays the same the overtanned old lady in Something About Mary.
Oh, is that the one where Cameron Diaz gets the cum in her hair?
Yeah,
absolutely.
So anyways, this lady, she used to be an ex-bartender. So anything she says, she's 2 inches from your face, waving her hands, like, "Thanks for coming, Preston and Colin. It's great. Gee, you could have been earlier." And I'm like, dude, I used to get like fucking hit by my dad. So 2 feet distance, because I don't want to knock out an old lady, you know?
God. She's triggering you, is what it is.
Yeah.
Oh my God. you saw this old lady and her stubbly chin, and you're like, Papa, no.
She has this smoker's cough, and she's screaming in my face. And like, so first day they're training me, and they there's a metal that gets caught in this belt sander, the size of a minivan.
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, you just push it through." I'm like, "No, I think
you do.
I'm like, you should use like a rod not your hand. First day.
Would she call you a pussy?
Her fucking. She goes, I'll do it. Fine, I'll do it. Because you're a temp, so you're not covered under. And dude, her thumb gets sucked in. Broken in like 5 places.
Beth.
and then she's fucking jaded because they gave me her job because she had a cast, so it made her look like a Mickey Mouse thumb. And every day we're just like, how you doing? I'm guessing good with that thumbs up, you know. So
I'll still fight her.
Yeah, it sounds even like the odds are in our favor.
I like it.
Wow.
Let's set up a time.
well,
Damn, Beth.
So this story just keeps getting better and better because I'm working at this place. First thing
Did
that
you
happened.
fuck her dad too? How does this get better?
Dude, it gets that weird.
At the end of the day,
I promise you,
I welded her thumb back on.
I welded her fucking trap shut. No, but no, it gets that weird because I'm in this department and fuck, I gotta relight this cigar.
Hell yeah, get it. Poor Beth.
Hey, welcome to the Preston and Collins segment of Wild Philosophy.
Guys, check out Sugar Beats Podcast.
Yeah.
It's anywhere you find podcasts.
Sugar Beats Podcast.
YouTube's always a good one.
It is a good one.
What do you guys? I have to ask. Did you guys go through Anchor to post it everywhere?
We stick to a lot of the video-based stuff. So we've been having a lot of success on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We just got monetized on Facebook, actually, which is an excellent step for us right now.
Yeah.
Please check out our clips there. But YouTube has been
What
doing
did
well.
you do? Like, how the fuck?
Colin and I are likable, I guess. I don't know.
Thanks.
We had a couple of our shorts get a lot of views.
Dude, that's the thing I noticed recently because I was like hearing about all this. You know, I have like that news app on Fire Stick, and all these people are talking about how like TikTok went to the Supreme Court because of like spyware.
Nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah,
but
why would we make TikTok pay for what Facebook and Instagram and Meta and all of these companies are already doing in the States?
But
also TikTok's going to be based out of America with only American people in charge, still mining our data, still getting what all the other social media platforms are already taking.
We're really fighting about how much do you want to be stalked?
It's already done.
Yeah.
It's already. I don't know why the argument is even still a thing. It's like, yes, of course, I would rather they don't take my information, but that's not stopping tomorrow, and that's not stopping in the next 10 years.
Yeah.
Not to sound like a negative Nancy, but
it's already done.
Stupid. It's just a big facade that they're putting on, where they're like, oh well, we would rather protect everybody's information, but also still us as a country are going to be taking your information ourselves. So we just don't want TikTok to have it.
I can tell you that's not even all that bad. I'm part of a class action lawsuit. I'm pretty sure I didn't sign an NDA, so I can talk about it.
Oh, you're being serious?
Yeah, no, 110%. So I this thing called, I believe, iSolved is the name of the company. And they take thumbprints and they use them for clocking in and clocking out.
I signed up for that as well, and they sent you like a check home.
Yeah, they sold your barometric data.
Yeah,
biometric, like your thumbprint.
Yeah,
dude, I actually did that at this company that I'm talking about, where you clock in with your thumb, and the thing is, you get do this math. We start at 7 a.m. There's 80 fucking workers. It takes 30 seconds for it to process because it types. You clock in, then it says, "Thank you. You have a good day. You are stationed at this department."
Yeah,
and it's just like
getting comfy.
And it's just like, dude, like do the math. If you're starting at 7 a.m., there's 80 workers. It takes 30 seconds each. You're really starting.
It's 160.
You're starting at like 6 a.m. You're camping out in a tent for the fucking clock.
Yikes.
So it's
dude, I didn't do that for a PS5.
That's why my job does eyeball scans. Much quicker, much easier.
Much easier.
Yeah. It's like in, what is it? Is it Total Recall or True Lies?
Yeah. I think both.
Why did you bring a dildo to work today? We see it in your fucking pocket, okay? Just trying to show off, bulge.
Can I say, as someone who travels a lot for work, I'm not trying to manifest this, but I do find it funny when I see people prank other friends' bags for TSA. As someone who does not want to get pulled over by TSA ever, I love when they take like a full 2-liter Dr. Pepper and strap a dildo to it and then throw it in your carry-on.
Oh, yeah.
Goes through the scanner. They're like, you got too much liquid. And then they open it up and they're like, whoa. Whoa. And so that person gets to freak out and be like, what's in my bag? I don't know. And as I got, it's a dildo. And Dr. Pepper.
Hey,
I was
which
just
you
bitching.
can't have Dr. Pepper, which is a plus.
If I'm gonna have a 13-inch dildo in my bag, you best believe I want a 2-liter DP.
What do we think? What do you think the combination of sodas makes Dr. Pepper? What do we think?
We've talked about this before because it's 23 flavors.
Yes,
right?
I've heard that it's Coca-Cola and root beer.
That one
sounds
of the
right.
guesses. That's one of the guesses.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, Dr. Pepper is bottled independently on its own. It's not a Coca-Cola or Pepsi.
Right.
I heard that it's diabetes and morbid obesity.
Oh, I also heard that too, actually.
No, that's Squirt. Guys.
I just need sugar water is what it is. Listen, I would love to sit here and try to figure out what's in Dr. Pepper, but even if it's 23 poisonous things, I'm still fucking drinking the thing. It's
100%.
great. Sometimes I do Dr. Pepper Zero, and I'm like, I think I'm better than everyone.
You know what I thought was really funny that I found out recently was like growing up. You know how like a lot of different cultures have like a different like remedy. Like people go like, oh, just put some garlic on your mustache when you go to sleep to clear your nostrils. Like just random fucking remedies. So growing up Polish, people like anytime I got sick, you got a stomach ache, you got a cold, they're like, oh, just have a glass of Sprite. Just have a glass of Sprite.
Sure.
And I found out till the 60s, any like Sprite or 7-Up, they used to have lithium in it. And I'm just like, oh, I could see a lot of my Polish relatives being bipolar, like. So,
I still do Sprite. If I have an upset tummy, I do Sprite and 7-Up.
I can't eat like something like salty pizza without drinking Sprite. It like evens it out. I feel like I don't know.
When I was trying to readjust my caffeine intake in my life, Sprite was the soda that I was sticking to because I'm like, it's light, so it can't have too much caffeine. And then I would pound like a 6-pack and be like, why am I not
Well, it doesn't have
energized?
any caffeine, right?
Yep, no caffeine. And I mean, just dumb never read the bottle
Dude,
ever.
I actually, because I always do jokes about trauma and shit. I had such a fucking crazy mom. I'm not joking. I wrote a bit about this, but this is true. So
you thought Phil was wild.
dude.
So see his mom, crazy mom.
dude. So I had to move back with my ma because my building, the condo that I had, it got infested with bed bugs. So I moved back with my mom, and
Don't skim over this. How did it get infested with bed bugs, do you think?
it was just that season. It was like everywhere. Like I had a friend who's like the president of a library, and they fucking like there was just a swarm that year.
Phil hanging out with nerds?
Also, are we gonna skip over president of a library too? What the? How the fuck do you meet the president of a library?
Me, I like long walks on the beach.
I sold him weed.
That makes so much more sense.
and I was one of those drug dealers where I like you don't want to hang out, bro, and like be friends.
Yeah. Yo, the drug dealers that I had in my life that fit many different categories are the I need to hang out guy and the can I sell you my furniture guy. Have you ever run into that guy? The guy who's like, I got a table if you just want to buy it, like $20, you take it home.
I used to play a lot of video games with my drug dealer. That was a good one.
Now the question is, as far as a good drug dealer goes, do you smoke from your own stash that you just bought, or are they smoking you out?
No, it depends. They probably would. It's from the customer standpoint. I just paid you money for this.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
What do you mean you have so much of your own?
I saw you pull from your tub.
Right. like I used to smoke a lot of like distillate and like extracts and stuff.
Yeah.
So whenever he would like get it from
what
me,
is distiller and extract?
It's like the vape oil
like,
carts.
So basically,
Oh, okay.
or
Yeah,
like
yeah.
just like slabs of like THC.
So
and
not
stuff.
flour.
No, the first time I ever did a dab, I was
Concentrate.
like, the first time I ever did a dab, I was like, oh, I'm doing drugs.
Yeah.
Because it involves a torch.
Yeah. Oh, a dab itself. Dude, the first time I did a dab, I was in some Russian guy's apartment with my friend.
Nice.
And I had to just sit on the ground for like, I don't know, 7 days. Just so long, just like zonked, watching some stupid like Adventure Time or bullshit show like that, where he's like, "This is entertainment." I'm like, "I'm gonna die." Then after all of that, I learned his roommate, who's been sitting there the whole time, cop. Roommate's a cop, just selling drugs with his roommate who's a cop.
Speaking of like, I love that like in this country the only
Hot
like
take: Russia kind of messed up.
Well, I love that in this country, like
Spicy.
Russians are the only people you can shit on, like race wise. Because I was playing this this
Well,
video game, and it was
white.
Yeah, there's still but country wise, heritage wise.
yeah. Well, no, I was playing this video game on Xbox where it was.
the UK. I should have.
I'd shit on the Brits over the Russians.
But I just
Tuesday.
But I just love that this game I was playing. It was like the first bosses are the punkers, then it's the bikers, and then the final boss, the Russians. Like you could never do that with anybody. The fucking, the Spanish or the whatever, the Norwegians.
When I first moved to Chicago, I was living in Lincoln Park. Not a scary neighborhood. Very stupid and overpriced. But I was walking.
That's where I worked at C.H. Robinson. Was Lincoln Park.
Yeah, by I.O., right? Mm-hmm. North and Clybourne. I was up a little more north of there, and I was at a park, and I was walking around, and I passed a group of Russian guys all in tracksuits, and I was like, those are criminals. And I'm like, you don't know that. Or maybe they're just wonderful people who moved to the city and get to populate this awesome area.
That's right.
And then they executed someone.
Oh.
So what's funny is like Polish people think that I'm half gypsy because I get really tan in the summer. So I went to actually buy like for a holiday, I went to buy caviar because like it's, similar Slavic foods. And I walked into this Russian deli. He started speaking Russian, and he took me to the back room where they have like fucking like spare tire jars of caviar, like the good stash. I'm like, no, I don't have money for that, bro. He's like, oh, you look like you into some shady shit.
Oh,
yeah, we were saying this earlier. Like you just have that look of like, like if you were to on this podcast decide who drinks the most Monster Energy drinks,
yeah,
who is it? We'll pause for a second so you can choose.
Put your answer in the comments.
I'm just a meth baby that wasn't told that I was,
All right, the answer, it's Preston.
Yeah, you weren't going to guess Guy from Specialty White Sox jersey. Was get button up, not even jersey, button up.
Yeah, exactly.
I forgot what I was saying. So I was writing about how fucking the whole caffeine shit with how crazy my mom was, dude. So here's what happens. I had to move back with my mom. And I'm so stressed out because she is that stereotypical Slavic mom where she gets into a breakdown and starts throwing fucking plates at you. Right?
You might be a Slavic
if you break it down and throw plates at your children.
So it's like, Ma, I chipped a tooth. It's good for you. You look like you can tell a story, No, but so literally, like I would live with her, and it drove me so fucking nuts. Part of the reason why she had a stroke was, no joke, like every day for like 4 years, every day it was 2 pots of coffee and a salad. That's all she had. That's all she fucking had for like 4 years.
Decaf or full calf?
Full calf. And so here's where the story goes, is I was so sick of her going so nuts. Like I tried to prank her by pouring decaf into a Folgers can like 3 times. Mm-hmm. Dude, I'm in my room. I swear to God, I'm
caffeine headache.
I'm in the middle of meditation. I'm listening to throat singing Buddhist monks in my whatever the fuck Shavasana pose.
I've listened to throat singing. The Mongolians used it as a scare tactic. It's a horrifying sound.
It was relaxing for me. It's wild.
Yeah. They used to build like 2 or 3 times the amount of fires of people that they had, so that it looked like there was a lot more people. And then they sent a bunch of like throat singers to the front, and they would just sing at the walls of the places they were going to siege, which would be horrifying at night.
It's the Trojan horse.
But also is so funny as a performer to be like, okay, the army has recruited you, and we need you to be a singer. And they're like, oh, Mom, I did it. I'm going to make it. And then it's like, okay, you're going to be singing for all these people, but you have to go nose and toes in the corner over here. And you got to go right up against the wall. You don't get to see anybody, but they're going to hear you, sweetheart, and you are going to shine.
You will be a star.
And they're like, they don't know that it's me, but I am Slovakia. Someone's like, I'm kind of scared, but also like,
respect your vets.
Is that guy on Spotify?
He's like, respect your vets. What'd you do? Work the cafeteria? No.
Oh God, it's TJ Throat Singer. I knew I recognized you.
You saved us at the Battle of Jericho.
But dude, so
the wall came tumbling down.
I switched the fucking coffee, and I'm in the middle of this like whatever Shavasana pose. Yeah. My mom ran upstairs with the
lot of energy for a decaf
with the whole fucking coffee mate and threw the whole thing at me.
What?
And I'm
hot
just
coffee or powder?
Hot. And I'm just like, this is how you know. This is how you know you're at complete mindfulness, when your fucking nipples are burning red with hot coffee and you're still in Zen mood.
I think that's called the trauma response.
That's the closest you ever got to the monks who burned themselves and lit themselves on fire for meditation. Yeah. You were like, oh, that's a good burn. Oh, that's nice. Nice.
Found my inner self.
Wow.
Karma flows, bitch. But
Well, yeah, because she's dead.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
Mama. R.I.P.
But so
You said Ma. You called her Ma earlier.
Yeah,
Where are
yeah.
you from?
I grew up in Chicago.
Yeah.
I had a friend mention that to me before. Why is that weird? Is
Ma's
Ma
not
weird?
that weird. Ma is like
Ma City.
What
So, no,
what
no,
is
it's,
what
it's
is
a
Ma?
Chicago. It's a Chicago thing for like. So you would see like a Jersey Italian be like Ma, but you have a lot of Italian and Polish influences in the city of Chicago. And
Yeah, I grew up in a neighborhood where it was all old mob guys in Chicago.
yeah. So Ma makes
neighborhood?
a lot of sense.
It was I mean we never called it, but it was
called Mobsville. Have you heard of it?
It was called.
Mobsville.
It was, I guess it's called like Dunning, but like the border of Elmwood Park and River Grove.
It's called Gangville. Have you heard of it?
No,
It's the jail.
no,
They
like
called it Little Italy, but with the mob.
No, but I forgot. I was telling about this story about this fucking fucked up job, right? Like so, because we were talking about respirators,
Right.
No,
Well,
so okay. So I had this supervisor.
right. So you killed Beth's thumb.
Yeah, I killed Beth's thumb,
Right, and then stole her job and fucked her husband.
and then
You're like, your son called me dad this morning.
I made him pancakes.
and his,
Mickey Mouse pancakes, and did you know he loves Disney? Because he does.
and your son is 2 years older than me, so it's weird.
And he really likes the Pokemon waffle maker that I brought.
He loves it when I tell him I'm proud of you and looking up to him. You know? But
Your son asked me for uppies earlier.
Your son said nice cock because I wore your husband's robe.
it's just flopping around like Rodney Dangerfield. No, but I took fucking Welder Beth's job, and then the supervisor, this guy Scott, he was a piece of shit. He was a quote unquote floor manager, and he'd always only get on my ass because all the other leads were Hispanic. They didn't speak English, so he could only get on my ass. So one day I go to my fucking my main lead. I'm like, why haven't they fucking fired? Haven't you written up this guy? He's like, I wrote him up 8 times today. I go, well, why isn't he fired? And here's the thing, you know those cheesy training things that like the orientation when you start at a company.
Yeah,
you
the one I
get
sleep through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go through the sexual harassment training, even though we're
for
like
OSHA.
we're all fucking like. I'm working with a bunch of homophobic welders. I'm pretty sure nobody's gonna grab anyone's ass unless they're into that prison shit. Like,
I often find homophobics are a little bit gay, but that's a whole sidetrack we can get
Yeah,
into
they'll
later.
like say things that are like, "Oh, no homo," and it's like, you were talking about chicken, bro.
Yeah.
I didn't.
The last no homo I got, which it has been years. I really haven't heard that in a while.
Yeah.
The last one I got was a guy who was squeezing my leg, and he's like, "No homo, though, right?" And I'm like, "You're hitting on me. What do you mean?
Was
no
it an
homo?
uncle?
Was it an uncle? Yeah, he made me say uncle.
it was Beth's son.
It was Beth's son. Yeah, you
No,
don't want to
but-
see what happened to his thumbs.
Yeah. No, but
Let's just
so
say every brown star
so
their own tone.
so you know how I said it was going to get weirder and weirder. So I go to this lead. I go, how the fuck haven't they fired him? I'm doing this orientation, and the name of the company. I'm not going to say the name of the company, so I don't get into some thumbprint lawsuit.
That's right.
Smart.
It's GE.
But the name of the company was. It was a guy's name and then a girl's name. So the picture it would be called fucking Jason
Home Depot.
Christie. Yeah.
Wait.
So picture
Ace
it was
hardware.
Hardware Sally. No, but that sounds like a wrestler. But it was it's like so say it was
Your
like
name is Hardware. It's a family name, okay?
She's a trophy wife.
but say it was like Jason Christie, right? I'm like, why the fuck is it called Jason Christie? Like, because it wasn't like normally companies are named after your last name, you know? It's like, oh, it's the owner's
Did you
middle
work
name.
at Ashley Madison?
No, but they go, oh, it's the owner's middle name and his ex-wife. I'm like, that sounds like an old tattoo. Like, fuck, you start a successful business, but then you have to keep your ex-wife's name in it, you know? And then I asked my lead, I'm like, why the fuck haven't they fired Scott? He goes, you know how Christie is his ex-wife in the name? Yeah, Scott's the reason why. So this guy fucked the owner's wife, so he hired him there.
What?
It was the most cuck shit ever. It was the
He's paying the guy who had sex with his ex-wife?
Yeah.
Maybe and he knows
has
how much he makes a year, so he can always make more.
It was
Keep your enemies closer. You're right.
That's right. And make sure you can write them up and dock their wages.
Yeah. He's like, ooh, sorry, I couldn't get you overtime this week. Thanks for volunteering those hours, though, Scott.
like, yeah, Scott, this year we renewed the insurance contract, but I got Christy in the back putting on makeup for you.
Yeah, you're gonna look good.
Yeah, it doesn't cover white fuckers.
But so when we were talking about respirate, here's the shit that was like, this was the grand finale of me fucking like quitting there. This is so great.
So I'm fucking his wife, right?
yeah. I'm fucking, I'm double penetrating with Scott over there. It was no homo, right?
No homo,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's,
no homo.
so it's us three boys, right? But again, it's not gay. We're just all coming the hardest we've ever come. It's not gay. It's just we found an internal G spot. It's not gay, but it's the happiest I've ever been in my life.
If there's our cum between our dicks while they're rubbing, it's not gay.
No homo.
No, it's like a cheese pull.
What am I? Oh, it's like a.
We're starting a wet fire. Two
It's like
sticks.
when you split a mozzarella stick in half. It's not gay. This is just something I'll think about every single day. But it's not gay.
This is just
Why is it smelling like cheese, Scott? Take a bath.
But he's had so many monsters.
Take a bath in my mouth.
Okay.
You ever gargled your boss's balls before?
So here's what was bullshit. They hired me as a welder, but they had this fucking contract where they made these boat parts that were like the yuppiest yacht boats, right? And they had this contract where they have to get all this shit done by Christmas. I'm like thinking about fucking quitting at like December 20.
You gotta stop saying fucking because I keep putting his wife at the end of it.
Fuck yeah. so I keep.
Sounds like you've got a job coming up.
That's what I'm thinking. I was like, yacht, fucking your wife on the yacht.
That's my problem at
Scott
stand up. The same way like an airhead stand up says like, I just say fucking all the time. It's
It's the same thing. It's
I'm
a filler
working
word.
on it.
Yeah, it's a wild filler word.
Yeah. But or a wild O filler.
I love it. What's
Now
his last
do
name? On
mine.
the spot. What's his last name?
Wild glow stick.
Sounds like the shittiest flower.
Glowinky.
They sell
Now
wild glow
spell
sticks
it.
at Lover's Lane.
Hello.
you know?
They sell wild glow sticks at Lover's Lane. I don't even want to know what that sounds. If you put anything inside of you that cracks to activate, I don't think that's.
It works
Speaking of
as
no homo, I had we used to paint our faces with glow sticks, crack them open and put the glow on it. Then the next day you just have severe acne in the shape of a smiley face or your name or whatever dumb stuff. And then like 6 months later you'd be like, why are we painting ourselves with this? I realize we shouldn't, but I don't remember why. And then you do it, and you're like, I have a zit in the shape of a dick on my cheek now.
I think I remember daring a kid to chug a glow stick.
Oh, you killed someone.
And then he started hurling, and we're like, is it glowing? Turn the lights off.
Okay, what a dick move, but also I totally get that.
Yeah, I would be very curious. I would also have just been like, let's get him in the ambulance and then turn the lights on.
Yeah, he's gone. He's on his way, but
yeah,
the puddle's still there.
Right.
It says it's non-toxic, so it's like Elmer's glue.
He's about to throw up, and you're like, no, we have to shake you first. Hang on. Wow.
Luckily, he's
we had a guy. Luckily, he's what?
Oh, I was saying, look, I was going to make an epilepsy joke because I'm epileptic, but
We had a guy in my high school.
we didn't have to shake him. He did himself.
We had a guy in my high school who we were able to, for $10, watch him go down. We used to hang out in the sewers, the storm drain specifically, and there was some moss on the top of the water, and we got this guy. I won't say his full name, but it's a good one. It's a good one. He knows. And we got him to take this big old hunk of moss and just slurp it down for $10. And the boy just vomited and shit his pants right then. And it was really an aggressive time. We felt so bad that we went and spent money and got him a trophy with the back of a horse's butt. And it said, "World's Biggest Dumbass." And gave it to him. And turns out he didn't love it. He didn't get the joke.
It was not very funny for him.
He's like, I almost ended up in the hospital.
Dude, so
He's
funny.
still recovering.
So funny about that is when my mom died, like obviously there was inheritance, right?
Hang on, let me get comfortable.
And I had all these fucking like the asshole side of my family in Poland. They're like, oh yeah, we saw that you started a GoFundMe and you basically turned your fucking mom's funeral into a fundraiser. I'm like, you don't understand how.
I gotta cash in, don't I?
well, I was like, you don't understand how wills work. It takes like a few months for that money to process, so you have to pay for the funeral.
Cut to the funeral. You're like, hey, I'm going to really miss my mom, but really quick, Tushy is an incredible product. And if you use my promo code, OPhil, you can save $20.
Well, no. So my brother's like, what the fuck? What do we say to them? That who the fuck says that? We started GoFundMe, and I was like, dude, let's get, like those like real like fancy family pictures where they like have, you're like posing real, like, let's get a picture of us just doing snow angels in money and send it out to you. Like, fuck yeah, we got that money. But anyways, let me tell you this fucking grand finale.
We paid for the funeral in cash.
let me tell you this grand finale of this job. So I'm at like December 20. I'm about to fucking quit.
Wait, hang on. I gotta get back up for this one. I was in comfy position for the sad story. I gotta get. Don't start yet. Don't start yet.
No, don't
start
yet.
You
have to wait. Yeah, Colin's got to hear everything.
Yeah, you got to be in unrecline mode.
Yeah, I can't hear it until. Okay, hang on. I got to make sure this is.
Okay.
Hang on, Colin. Can you hear us again?
Yeah, you sound good.
Great.
Thank you. Need a sound check.
It's making me paranoid because my ears are popping. So I'm like, are we not hearing good here in this room? Is it just me? Like, no, but so like, okay, so they hired me as a welder, right? So I'm only supposed to do fucking welding, but because they were rushing to get this shit done on Christmas, they put me in a polishing room, which sounds like fancy and shit, dude. It's the worst fucking job because what they do is, like, you ever see like a hitch on a truck, how shiny it is, like when they make chrome? Yeah. You get put in this room in like a Homer Simpson radiation suit where they have a grinder, but it's all like canvas material going full speed. It looks like a bunch of socks spinning. And if you get your arm in there, it sucks it in and breaks it off. So and then there's this
How
thing.
many machines do you work around that will just take parts of you?
A lot. But so what you had to do is we called it the crack rock. They had this fucking soapstone the size of a real brick that you put in there, and then you got to hold metal in there, and they're like, okay, you get a respirator because all this wax gets in the fucking air. So I'm wearing a respirator, a radiation suit, airtight fucking clothing, and dude, I remember I got a cold for 2 weeks because it went in my throat, and I was like, how the fuck did it happen? I was wearing a respirator. I got home, I took my clothes off, my feet were black because the fucking dust from the wax went through the suit, through my Vans, through my socks, and that's what was going into my throat. So I'm like, fuck you guys, I'm leaving. So here's the funniest fucking part. They go, no, we'll pay you triple the amount if you just stay 2 more weeks till we reach quota. I already, and the funny thing is they gave away like Thanksgiving turkeys. I already took like 3. so I couldn't even fit them in my fucking Prius, But my wife was pissed because she's like, we don't even have room in the freezer for these. And I'm like, oh, we can keep them outside. It's December.
Let's cook them all now. Come on.
So
turkey for days.
So the funniest part was they needed a person for that polisher. They put the HR lady in there in place of me. Like the chick who is wearing glitter makeup, looks like she didn't make the Jersey Shore audition. She's in a radiation suit working in the most fucking hazardous machine ever.
Someone's like, I got sexually harassed, and she's like, I can't talk right now.
I have to go to the polishing room. Which, when you said the polishing room doesn't sound nice, I've never heard somebody say like activity and room and been like, I'm sure that's a good place.
Yeah.
Like it's never.
It's the interrogation room in Dark Knight.
The welding room. This is name an adjective. Just give me a noun and then put room at the end of it.
The green room?
Oh, that sounds fine.
I like that, but what about murder?
The murder room.
Wow, dude, that is so funny. That's gross. I want the turkeys though. Do you still have one?
Do you have
No. I funny thing is that we couldn't finish one of them, so we just left it out for my 3 cats. Dude, the next morning, the whole first floor fucking turkey farts. It smelled so. The funniest part for me though was when the cats first saw it. They're like, "Is this one of us?" Like they just see this picked carcass.
Oh my god! Meow meow no!
Wait, you just kept the butt. You were just like, "Here's a carcass, cats. Go for it."
It's like when Simba goes to the elephant graveyard. Zazu, help! Dude, this was so much fun. We've got to get out of here.
Oh, you got to get. Oh,
I got to piss so bad.
Shit! I'm sorry.
Unless you got another 5-10 minutes, I got to go pee so bad.
No, I get you.
Yeah, it's all good. So we do you guys want to? You plugged your Sugar Beats podcast. Is there anything else you want to plug other than that?
You can always check out my dates. All my shows are always at PrestonO'Phil.com. You can check out PrestonO.com. I got all that stuff there. Always updating constantly. I got videos there, dates there, all my sketches. It's really, really fun.
I'm sorry I didn't get to the interview part. It was flowing.
We could maybe go another 10-15. I just got to pee like a racehorse. I
also got to pee like a racehorse. You could just maybe have us
on. You want to interview real quick in 15 minutes? It's up to you.
Do you want to have us on again?
Yeah, sure. It's whatever you guys want to do.
We could always do an interview. We could like.
Oh God!
I have to be so bad.
Plug your thing, Colin. Colin, plug your thing. I'm coming.
So, you can follow you can follow me on Instagram at Colin Glowinky. My last name is spelled GLOWIENKE. It's the one with I'm pretty sure in my picture I have a sling on.
Yeah, what's the sling from?
I separated my shoulder.
Slinging too much dick.
Oh, no. I separated my shoulder in a turkey bowl game. Not a proud.
A turkey bowl?
Yeah, like a football game on Thanksgiving with my neighbors. Don't do that.
Okay.
Yeah, not a good time.
All right, sounds good. Well, thank you for getting wild. We will we'll have a part 2 to this, right? For the interview.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Sounds good, man.